Hi friends, this is Sarah. Welcome back to another video. It is a pretty nice day today. We're firmly in November. It is getting cozy outside. I have my pink tea here that matches my desk mat right now. It is the Forever Nuts by David's Tea. It's a nutty, non-caffeinated drink and it turns into this really pretty pink color and it just makes me happy. So we're sipping on that today. We recently placed an order for Fountain Pen Day. We love some deals. And so we have some goodies coming and I just felt like it was a great time to sit down and look at my ring planners for 2026. I'm just thinking about what my system is going to be, and I feel pretty excited about being in rings again for 2026. I was hardly in rings for 2025, so I'm curious to see how this could fit into my system. At the moment, I've been mostly keeping up with my hobonichi techo, the A6, and I am loving how I'm doing it this year. I'll probably do a deeper dive on how I'm doing my memory keeping this year, but just look at how chunky she is. I've really done a good job of staying on top of my memory keeping this year, and it makes me so happy to see this. It makes me think maybe I should have gone with the Avec for next year because this is thick. I really love memory keeping in this bound book. I feel like I get a lot of accountability with dated pages, and so I am committed to doing the same thing in 2026 next year for my memory keeping. However, I am a lover of practicality. I feel like I'm constantly juggling a million different things, and so I love the flexibility of rings. So that's something that I want to make a more permanent part of my journaling system for next year. I haven't been totally out of rings in 2025. I have very lightly used my plotter mini here, and I'll say it's all right. I feel like when it comes to anything planner system, we really need to try things out before we know what we like, right? And so I kind of know what I'm not enjoying about my plotter this year. So I've gone ahead and taken some stuff out of my 2025 setup. I used the plotter weekly pages this year and I'm not a huge fan. The way I used it was I had the left side for work related things and then the right side for like personal slash Nookens related stuff. And it just felt like I was forcing my content onto the incorrect layout. I really like the paper, but the layout was not working for me. And so after I finish this set, I'm going to move off of it. Given that my rings are really small, these are 11 millimeters, I like to keep moving stuff out just so it doesn't feel as cramped in here. So I took out August finally, and then I also took out some of these pages. So these are inserts that we have in our shop, but basically my thought was that I could do my content reviews in my mini. However, I felt like I was forcing multiple things into this one book, and I think what I want to do for next year is I'll have my to-dos in this mini book because I'd like to have this just sitting on my desk open so I can see it at all times, but with a different layout. And then when it comes to journaling or stuff like this where I'm reviewing content, I want to do that in my personal size rings. So I'll show you that in a bit, but yeah, as you can see, I just never really got going with these. I do really like having these, so I want to do them, but it just felt out of place. So I took these out, and then I have a few other things in here. I've already started prototyping what I'm thinking my ideal layout will be for next year. So what I've done is something very similar to the Hobonichi Weeks layout. So I have the days on the left side here, and I just have Monday to Sunday, and then I fill in the numbers for the days, and then on the right side I just have some grid paper. This will allow me to put down things that are specific to a day on the left side here, and then if I have to-dos that I want to get done during the week but not on a specific day, I'm thinking that's what I would like to do on the right side here. And this is similar to what I used to do in 2024 in my personal rings, which I liked quite a bit. So I had a very similar layout. I had the days on the left side, I had my work stuff in this kind of left side column, and then I had personal appointments, things I had to do that were not work related on the right side here. And then everything else that is flexible in terms of date on the right side. And I did like being able to make these little check boxes with highlighter and then checking them off. That felt really satisfying. So I want to go back to a similar system next year, except in my mini size. Hopefully I will be able to fit everything I need in this small size. So I have that, and then I just have some grid paper here for just random thoughts, anything that I need to just jot down. So I have like content creation, scheduling, I have thoughts on mail club, which might be incoming in 2026. Stay tuned, may or may not. And then I just have my plotter fastener case, and that's pretty much all I really need. This stays at home with me on my desk. I like this size because it fits perfectly underneath my monitor and I can just look at it like this. And so I'm gonna do the same thing, but I'm gonna get rid of this. I'm gonna get rid of this. I would like a nicer kind of today marker. I do like having one, but I just want it to be blank. I don't want anything on it. It's like, it's kind of hard to see through it, you know? So I would like something blank. If you guys know where I can get one of those, let me know. I am going to Taiwan this month, so I'm hoping I can find some cool planner goodies there. Okay, so that's the plan for my mini. The other thing that I want to do is move up back into a personal size book. This cover I made myself in 2024, and honestly I think it suited me quite well. I really got into this style of planning, so I'm excited to try that in my mini. However, there were a few other things that I was doing in here that I enjoyed. So I had this content to consume insert that I made where I write down stuff that people recommend that I watch or read or listen to or play, so I can highlight the type that it is. And then my favorite column is actually the recommended column, so I can write down who suggested the content to me, because I like to follow up with them after I consume something and talk to them about it. So I want to do this again for sure. I also have a section that's just to-do lists. So this is work related. This is because we moved and we had a whole shopping list for things that we needed for the house. This looks like just a shopping list. This is a list of emotes that I wanted to make for my stream. It's just nice to have a place to put down lists. I find that I feel like my head is a lot clearer when I can put stuff down on paper, and I know I can stop worrying about that thing because I've written it down. So I love having this flexibility, just an open to-do list. Here's what I used to do with my content reviews. I had them 2 per page, and I would just do a quick kind of review on how I felt about the show, mostly shows, and do a little review. And I honestly really like this because I can go and flip through and remember all the things that we watched, but then also I can recommend shows that I liked to friends. So I did that for a good amount, but I would like to bring this back because we consume a lot of content. That's pretty much what I did in my rings, and then I have this little pocket file catch-all at the back. I made my journal so that I could store some extra stuff in here, so I have some stickers in here for when I wanted to do some decor. I want to try bringing back some of this stuff in 2026, and luckily I have this gem from Me Plus. If you haven't seen my other video of the unboxing, check that out. This is really making me excited about bringing personal back into my life. So this is what she looks like. The custom band. It is a very nice plotter alternative. They look so good together. I have mine in a chestnut color, and it's just beautiful, and I love supporting a small business. So if this is something that you're interested in, check out our link down below to save some money when you order. Might be an awesome thing to put on your holiday wish list. Okay, so I'm hoping that I can do a little bit of setup today. They did send me a bunch of inserts as well, so I want to decide which ones I will want in it for 2026 and figure out what other inserts I would like. And so I've already gone ahead actually and did some of the stuff I just showed you. So instead of content to consume, I renamed it to stuff to check out, and I've started adding stuff to that list. So shows that people are recommending, who recommended it. I made it a little bit smaller so it's more compact, and I made the lines very light. I'll probably add this insert to our shop, so if you're interested, check out nookins.com because we will be adding more inserts soon. We are in the midst of figuring out our own systems for this year, so this is a great time to create our own inserts and put some up on the shop for you. So I have that. I also remade the insert for content reviews, so I'll be doing something similar to what I did in this book. And then here I have my to-do list, or this one's a to-buy list. I'm starting a list for things to buy in Taiwan. So this is my Taiwan shopping list. And then I also kind of like the idea of having these little half pages for just random overflow stuff. And this you can see here, I'm trying to figure some stuff out here for myself. So you can see, if I take this out, that these holes are different sizes. And the majority of 6-hole punch that you can get online are this 5.5 millimeter hole. For the most part, it works. But when you're in small, tiny rings like me or in plotters, you want smaller holes. I also noticed that the plotter inserts themselves also have these smaller holes. And so I was on the lookout for a hole punch that could do smaller holes, and I finally found one. This is the one I got on Amazon. I can add it to our favorites list. You can find the link down below. But this is the only one I think that I could find that had 4 millimeter holes instead of the 5.5. And it doesn't sound like a lot, but it really does make a big difference. It is a little bit finicky and not ideal in that you have to kind of punch twice per page and you have to figure out the alignment. But once you figure that out, it's so nice to have the 4 millimeter holes. The other thing about the 4 millimeters is that you can see that the holes are closer to the edge of the page than they are over here, and that just makes it easier to turn once it's in your binder. It's possible that this will get harder and harder to turn. So I'm going to remake these and re-hole punch them because I think as I add more to this, I'll really appreciate having the smaller holes. So these inserts I've printed on Kokuyo business paper. I like it because it's quite thin, but it still is compatible with my printer at home, so I can print my own inserts. It's fountain pen friendly, which is important to me as well. And I get my sheets in the A4 size, and you can see here that the A4 pretty much fits 3 personal size inserts side by side just perfectly, just so I can save some paper. On the letter size, you can only fit 2. A little bit of a tip if you would like to do something similar and you're in personal size. This is great. I'm also quite particular about my grid sizing. So we have sized ours to 3.5 millimeters, and I feel like that's a pretty nice sweet spot. It is a tiny bit smaller than the grid of the hobonichi, and I write pretty small, so yeah, I would like to keep it pretty compact. Let me know what you guys like though, because we want to make sure that we're not just designing for ourselves for our shop. Okay, so I want to figure out which inserts I want to include in here other than our own. And something else that I've done actually is created a couple dashboards. I really like my planner feeling like my own. The second I open it, I want it to feel like it's mine. And so I've gone ahead and printed out some photos. This is my girl Emmy. This is one of my favorite pictures I've ever taken of her. And I just printed it out on some photo paper and I laminated it so it's matte and just gives it a little more protection and thickness. And then I also put yellow vinyl on the other side. You can kind of still see it, but on the Epson paper you can see like there's watermarks on the back, and I didn't like that, so I tried to cover it up with some vinyl. Maybe I have to do 2 layers. I figured it would also be a nice place to put sticky notes just because it's this kind of shiny glossy texture. So I'm thinking I'll hole punch this and then have these in my binder as well. This is another one I've done. So this is how I printed them out with the crop marks. This is probably one of my favorite family pictures. Thank you, Keelan, for taking this photo for us. And this is how I put the vinyl on the back, and then I'll just use an X-Acto knife to cut this out to size. I'm excited to make this binder my own, put my own spin on it. I did like these kind of card inserts that I had in this one, and I was able to put in some Polaroids, so I might still look for some card pockets. Now that I look at it, I wonder if I should have made them tabs so that they can also act as tabs, but next time. What I might do is get some transparent tabs and then I can still see the photos through them. I do have a whole box of sticky notes that I just haven't gotten around to using, and they're so cool. So I think it'll be great to be able to use this on the back of my dashboards. We love decorative things that also have function to them. Okay, so from the inserts that Me Plus sent, I think I'm going to use this one. I know I'm going to have this in my mini, so we'll see if I end up using this in this size. I did say I was kind of combining both, but we will see. I do like that personal just has so much more room for me to write. I'm thinking I'll also put in a couple monthly pages in there. I don't usually plan that far in advance anyway, so if I put maybe 2 or 3 sheets, it should be enough just to make sure I keep track of important dates or events that I've committed to. I think that'll be handy. And then the other thing that I'm thinking of doing that I haven't really done in rings before is random sporadic journaling, just like a dumping of thoughts. And so I think this layout will be perfect for that. The grid is tiny. It looks like maybe 3 millimeters. And so I think this will be great just to have with me if I ever want to brain dump a little bit or stick ephemera to, something like that. So I think I'm going to put these 3. They also have this list one and this yearly one, but I think the nice thing about the small rings is that you have to be really intentional on what you want to actually fit in there. So I think I'm going to leave these out for now, but we'll put at least a few of these in there. I think I'll put my monthly at the front. I think even 2 pages is enough because that's 4 months. As you can see here, the holes are larger size too. I would love to see some smaller size holes. I feel like it's only Plotter that does the smaller size holes. But let's put that here. And then I think I'll put a couple of these pages in as well. Even at least just to see if I end up using them, because if I do, then I'll be able to add more. That, and then we'll do several of these. And this is in extra lightweight paper, so I love this one, and I can fit way more because of how thin it is. Okay. That's a good amount for my small rings. Something I'm thinking about is I'm going to Taiwan in a bit, and I'm thinking I might bring this with me. I don't usually bring my hobonichi, especially now because of how thick it is, but I would like something to have on the road with me. Maybe the mini is more suited for that, but I just love the idea of bringing this personal because I have this beautiful carrying pouch from Me Plus, and so just having this with me, and it's so slim anyway. It is called the Slim Pad, so it's just very travel friendly, I think. I'm hoping that I'll be able to keep track of some dates here, maybe see if I venture in and use the weekly layouts, but for the most part, I think I want to try doing some journaling in here, even just thoughts on specific things. Sometimes in my A6, I can't really elaborate on things just because there's not that much space, and I do like to include photos, which takes up even more space. So I'm just thinking it might be nice to have random sporadic thoughts on these pages. And I love documenting my travels, so this is where I'm thinking I'll do that. Okay, let's put one of the dashboards in and see how we do. Although, maybe I should experiment using this on some regular paper first. So usually what I'll do is I have my Fiskars paper cutter. So I'll go ahead and cut some of this out. Okay, so now we have 3 sheets in the personal size. We can go and see how to hole punch them correctly. Let's do one at a time just in case. There's little markings here so you can see where you should align your paper. I'm not exactly sure what this other side is for, but we're gonna go ahead and line it up to that personal marker right there. So that's the first half, and then you flip it around and you do the other side. Okay, so hopefully that is correct. We can check by opening this. Let's put it in here. Perfect. Yeah, so you can see it's quite a big difference. I'm gonna redo my inserts with this hole punch. Okay, so now I think I'm brave enough to do my dashboard. So let's try it out. Okay, looks pretty good, I think. Then I should be able to just... I'll stick her on the front. Right here. Beautiful! So now, when I open my planner, it'll just be my girl. Oh my god, it looks so good. Ah! I love that. Okay, and then if I want to, I can put sticky notes on this side. This will be handy for things where I don't need to have it forever in my journal, but it'll be good to have a space just for things to take note of. I love that. I love that. It just instantly adds such a personal little touch to my journal. So I'm going to do the same thing with this one, and then I'll be able to use this probably in a different section of my book. Okay. I love it. Okay, so we can go ahead and hole punch this as well. 2 custom dashboards. Okay, the yellow is really bright, but I love the photos. You can already see that it's kind of hard to turn the pages when the holes are not very close to the edge. They get kind of caught. Anyway, so I definitely want my inserts to be with the smaller holes. This. Okay, so what's missing? I think what I definitely want to look for is a today divider, just to flip to my main page. I want to find some tabs for the right side here. I can probably just reuse the ones that I had in here, maybe? Yeah, something like this. Maybe I won't reuse these exactly, but something like this where I can see through them. And then I can put them on top of my dashboards here. So that might be really nice. And then, yeah, I'm still going to figure out what layouts I definitely want to keep in this book. I'm thinking it'll be nice to have these half pages kind of in between these if I want to stick ephemera or just have a little sidebar of thoughts. I think this would be pretty fun. Yeah, I think that's what I'm thinking so far. And I love that when I go to Taiwan, I can just have this band and then it just slips into this bag. I love this so much. I love this. Okay, I'm really excited to see where I go with this. Something about just the premium quality of this makes me want to use it. Thanks again to Me Plus for sending this to us. It's beautiful. I just love it. I love it so much. And what I have is the personal size slim pad, and you can customize it if you would like to get gold detailing. You can get custom bands. There's a bunch of different options for you to get exactly what you want. I would love to hear from you. Do you use a ring planner? If so, what size is the best for you? How do you use it? Are there creators out there who make layouts that you really love? I would love to check them out and see if any of their designs will fit in my system. Now that I think about it, I just watched one of Lindsay Scribble's videos. She has a date log and a call log, which I think I'll definitely want to include in here as well. But otherwise, we're also going to be designing our own inserts. There's just so many different ways that people use ring planners, and so I'd love to hear how you do that. Are ring planners something that will fit into your system for 2026? Have you been a long-time ring planner user? I would love to learn more from you, so chime in down in the comments. Okay, I think that's it for this video. I'll make sure to include links to stuff like the hole puncher in our favorites list. Check that out in the description below. Thanks as usual for joining me. We'll see you in the next one. Bye!